Namaskar, good morning. This is Suraj Singh, professional, international professional engineer, civil, again to your to serve you in talking, discuss with you, deliberate you. Of course, it is one-sided, but it is going to be two-sided if you respond to me. I am located in Faridabad, just for a reference, again in this country, Bharat, in this economy, Bharat. I have been talking to you for the last couple of days regarding status of our country, Bharat, India, which is named as economy in international economical terms. Because economy, every nation is an economy, every country is the economy. Economy means a society which has certain resources, certain wealth, created wealth as well as natural wealth, and human power, and equipment power, and many other powers. And this economy is for us and for others as well. Because when we are making it economy, it's not only for us. We start trading in that. We start international agreements based on that. And that is the reason that we are all interlinked. No country is independent in this age. There was time. Had some capacity to do independent work, but now situations have been created in such a manner that world has become a global village, which is very old term, it's nothing new now, but it has been augmented further, and there have been interests further which have been created by various states, and each state, each economy, each nation, each country is based on its own interest in addition to interactive interest with others. That is a far distant talk I'm just referring to, but now we are talking about our nation, Bharat, our nation, India, which is an economy in full standards, in full designation of international body of UNO. UNO is not alone for us, it's for all. And UNO is a supporting organization. It's well chartered. And we are member of that, like other nations are member of that. But our problems others cannot solve, others can advise us, but that is not a charter of discussion here. What I have been discussing with you, what I have been concentrating on, what I have been limiting my talks on is about our role in making ourselves, making our economy, our nation for us. We cannot say that others will make us, that is impossible. Others can support us, but first we have to move ourselves. We have to make ourselves proactive. We have to make understandable ourselves and our people. We have to understand us. We have to study ourselves. Because when you start something, you have to study ins and outs of everything, every program, every proposal. If you don't study, means you shall certainly fall on its route of progress. We are progressing, we have been progressing, but that progress is at random. That progress is for sake of progress, for sake of survival. But when we are a society of so big quantity, of so big population, which is immense one, you can say one sixth of whole world, we have to be very careful about ourselves. Now it's not a small nation. Bharat is a very big nation comparatively. If you compare to Europe, if you compare to Western, if you compare to Gulf countries, we are very big nation. And very big nation means the nation must have big problems. And problems are of such nature that we have to solve them in long term as well as in short term. No problems can be solved permanently, but in short term we have to reduce it to some extent for survival, to make it survival for all. But long term is something else. Long term is long term planning, long term thought, long term anticipations. What shall we forecast of long term? We have not done that. So far we have been based only on 5 years plans, which did not serve us to an extent required to be served. The time has come, irrespective of whatever government they be in office. I'm not talking about government, I'm talking about public, because I own this country as an individual and you own this country as an individual. It is duty of an individual as a person, as a citizen subject of this economy, to be careful about and to think about and to concentrate about. And I am doing that, and you must do that, and you must be doing that somewhere. I'm not saying that I am exclusively doing that because I think I am doing, because I think you are also doing. If you are not doing, you shall do sometimes to your capacity. We have a responsibility on each individual man or woman, each citizen, each responsible person, each responsible leader, each responsible professional, each responsible person who thinks that this country needs something from us, from me, from you, and we have to solve it, because if solve our country problems, we solve our problems. If country is happy, every person is happy. If country is not happy, even though I am happy, even though I am comfortable, I cannot consider myself comfortable because my neighbor is not comfortable. My family persons may not be comfortable, and I can't feel happy because I am comfortable alone. There is self-centering. I cannot believe in self-center. I believe in national center, in city center. If my neighbor, my state, my country is happy, I have a right to be called happy. It doesn't mean that I have money or no money. It's not question of money. It is question of survival, of happiness, and of society. If you feel happy, you produce more. If you feel satisfied, you think more, you do more, you move more. If you are not happy, you feel sick, you feel fever, you cannot move, you don't want to work because you feel tired even of your. What I state that each of us, each citizen, young or old, senior or veteran, all have responsibilities. Some people have more responsibilities and some people have less responsibilities. Those who have started life, whether just student life or youth life or unsettled working life, they started working, they are responsible too, but they are responsible to qualified level. Qualified level doesn't mean qualification. The qualification means restricted levels. All don't have full levels. Those people who have experienced life, who has learned in life, who has given to this nation something, and who has taken from this nation something, they have a duty to repay this nation in form of suggestions or in form of results or in form of performance or in form of whatever nature we can consider. Every one of us has a right so to do, and if one misses that, that is not a good thing. That is not a good idea to miss that. Until we live, we have a responsibility to serve this nation to whatever capacity one has. And once we serve this nation, means this nation is a part of globe, this nation is a part of world. We indirectly or directly serve world society and world society service, because I am a member of world society. Irrespective of that, I don't have that passport. I have passport of my country, but after all, you are a member of world. You are a member of world, that cannot be denied. This fact you cannot deny. You are a member of world. You are getting same air which is given to America, and I am getting same air which I hear. Miss, you just think in natural support, natural calamity and support. So if calamity comes, it doesn't watch which country it is, which people they are. It comes to all. If earthquake appears, it doesn't check whether it is a Bharat person or a USA person, Gulf person. It impacts upon all areas. Who were discovered in that, he faces problem, that person faces problem, and that's what I'm saying. We belong to world. It may be sea, it may be ocean, it may be earthquake, it may be thunder, it may be cyclone, it may be tornado, it may be whatever it is, all for all. That is in consideration. Flood doesn't see Suraj is there or not there, or American person is there or not. Flood comes in, rain comes in, it happens. Nature doesn't check visas or no visas, it comes in. So we have to understand that way. World belongs to all, and all belongs to the world. Geographical differentiation in countries is our problem, that is not natural problem. So we, our country, and all citizens of this country are one. To an extent, this economy is considered. I am not talking economy of other countries, but economy of all other countries is related to each other. Economy of our neighbors are interacted to each others. We cannot isolate our neighbors, even though we don't like them, we don't respect them, we have amity character with them. Despite that, we have to deal with them. We cannot say our neighbors are not, they may not be friends, but they are neighbors. We cannot avoid that. It is not in our hands. We have to deal with those people at working level, at talking level, at speaking level, at dealing level. We have to deal with them. If somebody says no, we can avoid them because they are enemies. That person is not doing job for country. There is no question of patriotism or no patriotism. This is a requirement. You have to be happy with your neighbor, even if you have no good relations. That is called. So what I am stressing is, each of us is a responsible person and must care for our nation as economy. Economy is based on many factors. I have already detailed out many issues, many descriptions about our economy from video 1 to video 4, and I'm just going to give additional information in this video regarding that, because I have thought on that, contemplated and worked out certain things that should have been applied, because those all have been missed so far in this economy. And we want that our economy should move. For that purpose we have to do something. We cannot simply remain blind in our life, because remaining blind has no meaning. We have to work together for this country, for this nation, for this economy, for ourselves, for our future, for our kids' future, for our future of youth, for our future of children. We have to work together. We cannot deny the fact that we are united. We are united and we have to remain united, irrespective of marginal differences that occur among all societies. We cannot dispute away from that. Those disputes are on one side, but nation is another one. Nation needs everything from us: our minds, our physical efforts, our philosophies, our way of working, our way of living, our anger mood, our polite mood, our brainstorming, our no brainstorming, our nature, our no nature. Everything nation seeks to have from us, from border security to family security, from border economy to family economy, from border power to family power, from international arena to border, and from border to each citizen of this country. We are all have centric to this country. We must think centric. We must not think eccentric. Eccentricity is also used, but in remote areas where there is no possibility, eccentricity applies. But centricity is very important. All must stand in one center point in that zone, so that everyone learns, everyone gets, and everyone is awarded with certain benefits. Our economy is a diverse one. We all know that. Fortunately, this country has been gifted with many natural resources and natural sources. We have been gifted. Let us consider what resources we have. All of you know, but we have to centralize that as well in our talks, in our deliberations, so that we understand what we are. Our measurement of resources is also economy. We should know what we have and how we can utilize that and how can preserve that. If we have preservation power, if we before that we have understanding power, we have valuation power about that, what value that natural resource is, though we are getting it free from nature, but it has got some value, economical value. If we know about that, if we know that value, then we have to understand how to preserve that one. And if we understand how to preserve that one, then we have to understand how to use that one to an optimum level, so that that resource is sustained, that resource is not destroyed. That resource must be there forever, and we must draw benefit of that resource in a practical way, in a professional way, and how to move that resource further, so the resource continues to stay in a way that we use that for our development. And that is all a detailed study, that is all a detailed formula, detailed procedure we have to adopt for each and every part of this subject. It is very complicated subject, but it is also very easy. It does not involve differential equation or calculus or trigonometry. It's not that difficult, but it's not that easy also. Because first of all, it is not impact one. It is not immediately done. It takes decades and decades to understand and do that. It doesn't mean that you can do it in 1 year or 1 month. It will take many long years. Already we have spent 70 years and we have achieved something, but that achievement is just the start, it's just a threshold of our country. We have reached there at some level from where we can move further and further and further. We cannot alone depend upon our leadership, because we all are leaders of ourselves. Our leadership also comes out from ourselves. It doesn't come out from moon or from Jupiter or from other country. Our leaders are our own. We make them for us. So they have to do accordingly. And thought process cannot be bound by someone, cannot be controlled by someone. My thought process can be used or cannot be used. That is a different level of thinking. But I have a thought process and I can think on that. I can submit that to people of this country to accept it or reject it. That is another, and that is some other criteria. But I have to say that you have also power to think. Everybody has power to think, and that power must be used for thinking, for working, for doing. Now, what I have to say is, we have certain things. We have resource. Yes, we have resources. We have certain classes of resources. We have the resources and we have produced resources. We have resources and we have artificial resources. Now, let us start see what we have in open. Open means there is no control on that. We have in open, let us say, natural resources like abundance of rain. Is rain not a resource? There are many countries, they have hardly rain throughout a year. For example, our neighbor countries in Gulf, Sometimes they have floods also nowadays. In Saudi, for example, flood have started appearing. In Oman, Muscat, you see there have been frequent rains and tornadoes these days, and so many other countries there have been flooding. But that is not general. That is not regular. That is not been historical on records. But in our country, in Bharat economy, rain is in abundance. Either it is in abundance or it is there is no rain sometimes. But rain is a part of our nature. Bharat, India has a natural support, and that support is rain. That support is good wind. Good wind, you mean wind with high speed, wind with normal speed, and wind with no speed. When there is high level of humidity in air, that time wind doesn't exist. But we need that also. We have humidity 90%, 50%, 60%, 70% relative humidity also in air. Means so many percentages of water particle exist in air particles. And also we have temperatures up to 15 degrees, 45 degrees, 48 degrees, varying from area to area. We have rain abundance, we have wind abundance, we have sun rays abundance, unlimited sun rays. I think it is everywhere in our area, our country. There is no place where there is no sun. We have soil everywhere in agriculture system, agriculture industry. I am calling it agriculture industry, but officially there is no agriculture industry. It is just a culture. That is why it is called agriculture. We have to make it industry so that agriculture is standardized, professionalized. Our farmers are valued. Our farmers are designated. It has not been made. It has of course been given title of Green Revolution before long back, but Green Revolution title is not adequate for its development. We have to convert this resource into agriculture industry. So we have resources, open resources. You can say rain is a resource, and sun is a resource, and wind is a resource, and soil is a resource, and water body is a resource. Rain is support to water bodies, but we have water bodies like rivers. Our country is a network of prime rivers, and prime rivers are bodies of water, and these bodies of water are spread throughout our agricultural fields, and we have failed to draw benefits from this water, and ultimately this water doesn't stop anywhere because rivers keep flowing always. This is natural principle, this is natural law of river bodies. All river bodies move to sea or oceans and dispose of there. So this is a continuous cycle, but this flow of water, if we don't use that, we make it waste. It is for us, we are unable to use because we don't have any program for that. These are major resources. These are prime resources. We can say we have not contributed anything for production of river, for production of rain, for production of soil, for production of wind, for production of sun rays. All these are freely gifted by our superpower, that is God. God has never asked for money for this, and God has given more and more and more, and we are unable to digest that. We are unable to digest extreme temperatures. We are unable to digest extreme rain. We are unable to digest the extreme value of mountains and grounds and plains. We are unable to digest flow of rain, flow of rivers. We are unable to digest the many calamities that come in form, one for other form. We cannot even digest them. So there are so many deficiencies that our economy has earned. We have so many deficiencies that our economy has not resolved. Economy has not resolved because people have not resolved. We have no concentration on these issues, but we just keep running, want to run, want to develop ourselves, but we cannot develop like that. We have to go from step by step in a professional, in a vocational way. Otherwise, there is a system is a must for every success. We have not made any system. We are just walking without footprints, without any route, without any path, and we are just reaching nowhere. We are reaching in an unknown area, unknown desert, unknown forest from where we don't know where to go, and that is called crossroads. We have come to many crossroads. There is no one single crossroad. There is crossroad on every natural resource that we have, and we have to check that crossroads. We have to train ourselves out how to go, and we have to go from one crossroad to another crossroad. This is our study, this is our research, this is our understanding. There is no specific way of research. Thinking is research. Your problems are there. You have to study all problems. You have to analyze all problems, whatever problems are there in one point. Though analysis must tell you where problem lies, where solution lies, and where benefit lies. Then you have to coordinate all those analysis with all solutions and make certain form of temporary system, then experimental system, and then adaptable system, and then final system. That is called organized system. that is called device system, that is called profilizations of problem solving. And I am interested in profilizations, professionalize something. What is meaning of profilization, you may ask? Profession is a word that applies in particular to religious practices, but we consider profession of engineering, profession of medical, all these are in real religious practices, because you have certain duties, certain commitment to society. If a doctor thinks that I am just a learning machine, I want to take fees only, and he ignores patient, what results he will see? Patient shall die in operation theatre, or patient shall not have good health results from doctor. And doctor should not think at that time whether this man will be able to give me money, a fee or not. That is criteria which is considered later on. But at that time, doctor must treat that patient, and that is what engineer has to do. We have to professionalize our thought. We have to professionalize our destinations. We have to professionalize our systems and procedural methods and designs. Otherwise, there is no meaning at all. We shall not be able to understand where we are moving to, what we are doing, how we are doing, and what shall be final results, admissible results of football results or negative results. We will not be able to anticipate. And engineering says that you have to see final answer on papers. You have to see where shall you reach, where shall you do this work finally, where shall you give delivery of this project. All these are consideration in planning of engineering, planning of projects, planning of nation, planning of everything. We had a plan system sometimes back, but that plan is somewhat discarded by someone without having knowledge about that. If you do something which you don't know and then suffer later on, that is called a nonsense, not professionalization. Professionalization, you must have an alternative first before you discard something. Without having alternative, if you move, you shall fall in some pit in road, or some pit in water, or some pit somewhere which you don't know, and you'll be drowned into that. You'll be able to come out, and there will not be any safety forces that can extract you back live from that. That is what my intention is about these resources. It's not a question of talking a lot, because talking should also be based on some structural mechanism, structural thinking. If I think and talk, that works. If I just talk for sake of talking, that doesn't matter, and you shall also not find any pleasure and interest in that. And I understand, I feel that when I talk something, when I speak something, it should be based on certain logic. And if there is no logic, I'm just wasting my time and your time. I don't like that state. Maybe you don't like my words for moments, but you will find that there is some weight in that, because I'm talking based on my experience, not based on my degree or diploma. I'm not interested then, because whatever my professors thought, they taught because by reading books only. They had no experience in learning. They were my experimental teachers, theoretical teachers. They had no ideas, and they taught me all formulas and everything. I am very grateful to all my teachers, all my professors in past. But practice is very important. Practice is major teacher. Once you learn in colleges, you can think in future, you can see in future in fields, and you can learn what you learned was right or it was not right. And if you see that your learning is acceptable, it is giving you results, that is called profession. Whatever I learned in my colleges, in my universities, in my degrees, that must be seen in practical aspect, practical shape. And if first is fine, same thing applies to our economy of our country. If we see that our resources are useful, should be made useful. Just being useful is not adequate. We know that they are useful, but we are not able to use them. We are not able to use them in time. We are not able to use them to an extent required for their optimum use. Then what is the purpose of that, sir? I don't understand. It's just wasted of that, because we cannot even preserve those. If we are able to preserve those resources, we can use them in future time and next when that's required. But that is also not happening, and we are just wasting those resources. Every year we are wasting reservoirs. We are getting human loss. We are getting houses loss. We are getting all losses and losses and losses, and we ignore them, forget them. And that is what is happening in our country, in our economy. Loss is no consideration. Loss of money, loss of resources, loss of nature, loss of raw water, loss of everything. No considerations given. By politics is involved there, and which is really very bad for us. There should be no politics in this field. There should be consideration of humanity, consideration of development, consideration of power. That is what is required. But we are society, we don't even consider that, don't even think of that. Very hot. Temperature more than 30. I think that is early morning. I have, after delivering you 4 videos, this is fifth video in this economy, and I don't want to go too long for giving undue videos, but I have to give certain considerations of taking up these problems from nation. Maybe people don't care for my words, for my writings, for my talks. I don't mind, because when you start something in a different fashion, you are not valued. But what I am saying here is based on my small mind thinking, my small experience, my contemplation. I am not a leader. I am just a student in engineering, a student of social sciences, a student of society. Because it's not necessary you have a degree in certain subject. If you are doing, if you're working, if I'm thinking for my nation, there is no degree in the world that can give me authority to think for nation. First of all, you may be having any degree, any post graduation, any doctorate in your field, but there is no doctorate degree, there is no master's degree that can make you think about your nation and about your world, about your society. There is no such degree. That degree you have to avail yourself. You have to certify yourself that you know this job, you know this world. Society, you have to understand yourself. Family, you have to understand yourself. There is a subject called social science or sociology, but that is just a subject. You cannot grasp out anything except certain definitions and certain procedures and some rituals and some other definitions only, detailed definitions and elaborate definitions and small definitions. Everything is there, but that will not give you equipment to deal with society. You may say social science, social engineering, you can say anything, but until you know your life, past life, current life, expected life in future, you cannot reach certain with yourself. Because deal cannot be made with society, cannot be made with nation. But deal with yourself can be made how you want to move, how you want to think, how you want to concentrate on this issue. That is very important for real consideration. Society is something which cannot be measured. Society is something which cannot be understood so easily because varying cultures apply there, varying type of people there, efficient, inefficient, fast, dynamic. Economy is there, national economy, as I said, is there, financial economy is there, and we are here dealing with economy of nation. When we deal economy of nation, we have to deal with economy of society, economy of people, economy of localization. We have to deal with everything. And this economy which I am talking about, we are dealing with, this is called national economy, society economy, and this has got nothing to do with budget. This has got nothing to do with expenses and returns. That is different aspect. That is professional economic job. This job is not professional economic job. This job is to think as citizen of this country, to know what is happening in my family. It is like that, what my family is doing, how they are moving ahead, what they are educating, what they are getting school education, college education, what they think about their future, about the ambition. Every member in a family has certain different set target. Irrespective of that is achieved or that is not achieved, that is another issue. But everybody thinks something for future, for present. Everybody has certain ambitions. Father has ambition, mother has ambition, brothers, sisters have ambitions, relatives have ambitions, other all society, neighborhood have ambitions. Those ambitions may not be fruitful always. Those ambitions can only be contemplated, can be just tried with. Maybe 20% success is there, 50% success is there, or sometimes 100% success is there. It depends upon your will, your determination, your destiny, power. Only then it can move. What I am talking about is about economy of nation, economy of our own. Our own economy and economy of nation are both linked root, cannot be isolated. And there are so many economies coming within my family economy and my nation economy, and there are neighbor economy, there are social economy of society, of economy of state, economy of region, economy of nation, economy of world. All these are sequence cannot be isolated because we depend upon each other. There is no person in this world who can say that I am independent of all. It is impossible except God, except nature. Nature doesn't depend upon us. Nature doesn't depend on US or USA. Nature doesn't deserve England. Nature depends upon none. Nature is independent for us. Nature depends upon its own natures. So we have to it is only nature, and we are also a part of nature, but we cannot rule nature. We are ruled by nature because we are getting benefits from nature, which benefits we cannot drive ourselves, we cannot create ourselves, we cannot own ourselves, but we are using them. We are not even paying them, and nature is not asking for payment. Nature is just giving them because nature has to give us. We are all children of nature, children of God. That is meaning of that. So what is it is? We have to understand first where do we stand. Once we understand where do we stand, what is that location, what is coordinate of there, what GP of that, we can relate to our own setup GPS at home or wherever we live, and we can be tracked. If we are missed, we can be tracked where remote area we are. If I am outside, I can be traced back where this person is. Same thing, where our economy was, where economy is, what we are in world, we have certain retraction, we have certain coordinates that must be understood. And if we understand, problem can be solved, nothing impossible. We have solved many problems in past. Our people, our forefather did that. We solved problem of slavery. We solved problem of nation. We got nation free. We got previous times eliminated. There had been hundreds of problems in past. All have been removed now. All are in history now. Nation is moving. It may not be moving to that speed it was supposed to move, but still it is moving. By hook or by crook, by goodwill or bad will, it is moving. By corruption, it is moving, or by good work, it is moving. It is moving a threat, or it is moving with happiness. It is something else, something to do, but it is moving. And we have to set this moving direction in the right way, at correct angle, at correct location, at correct height, at correct level. This is our duty to make it. If we make it, it is possible. But there can be no measurement at all for whatever we work in such a way for this act. It can't be measured, it can be felt only. We can feel, yes, we are moving. So our problems are varying now. It is 2019 and we have come from 2009, 1947 to this distance. There was nothing in 1947 and there is no meaning of talking about it because it was completely blank country, blank people, blank thoughts. You can suppress society. Whole suppressions were there. British suppressed us, Mughal suppressed us, and we were crushed so much that we cannot come up again so easily. We had a degree of scarcity in us, a degree of threat in us, a shock in us, and that shock has not gone out till now. It will take time to go until we are brought up again. If we bring ourselves up again by our own efforts, we shall be master in this universe, master in this world. But this is not happening. We are looking at faces of others all times, which is a bad habit. Yes, we have to see faces of others our tribe when it is required, not all time. We cannot say that somebody should do it for us. If you think that way, you will never do anything. That is not acceptable. You have to do major part of your activities, major part of your problems. Only people can help for something which you are not able to solve, and that is what interaction is required with others. So we have to first do ourselves, and God helps those who help themselves. God doesn't help them who don't help themselves. You have to start your own. You have to stand up. You have to rise in the morning. You stand up, take your bath, take your breakfast, start moving, and then you will reach somewhere at some location in afternoon, and then in evening. This is general thing. Generally happens. Even though sometimes you don't know destination, you don't know what to do, then suddenly you decide that I have to do this in morning, in afternoon, evening, and you do that accordingly. That is called destiny solution, destiny discovery. You discover your destination for that day. Similarly, you discover your destination for your future. You decide what is your aim in person, what you want to do, where is your interest. You research your own, you search your body, you search your mind. You said you are interested in this field, then you join that field, or you may plan to join that field. It happens with everyone. It's not possible if you are interested not in engineering and your parent force you to join engineering, you will be a failure. I'm telling this because your mind doesn't work in that way. Your mind is not tuned for engineering. If your mind is not tuned for engineering, do not join engineering, I would suggest. It is a waste of time. Your engineering is a profession in by name only, but it is not a profession alone. It is something different. Similarly, medical is not a profession alone, it is something different. Where emotions are involved in engineering, emotions are involved in medical, it is something different because profession doesn't recognize emotions. You see, there's a difference, there's a clash between two. Professional thought and emotional thoughts are always clashing, always clash. Profession says one thing, emotions do not accept that. It doesn't matter. Emotions must be suppressed if you want to be professional. Professional means acts of mind, and emotion means act of sentiments. Act of sentiments cannot make life, can damage you, but act of mind make you. Mind is master of human being. And if your mind says one thing, whether it is right for you, it is not right for you, it is supportive for you or not supportive for you, you have to consider that first. And if it doesn't work for you, then you consider for your emotional heart says, emotional conscious says. This is what our country is. We are thinking emotions for our country. Yes, we have to think for emotions of our country, because when we think for country, for Bharat economy, we think for all. We think for 130 crore people, not one people, not myself. When I'm talking about my country destination, I am talking for all people of this country. Then I cannot avoid emotions, because emotions shall certainly pour in when I have a track of thinking. But mind doesn't absent. It also exists there. Of course, it is apart from my line of thinking and emotion. It has different lead line. But that lead line will not stop, because I am also there when others are there. So if I control, I can compete with all those sentimental thoughts, I will manage. Otherwise, I will not manage. I will run over by those emotional thoughts. Emotional thoughts cannot work for me. Emotional thoughts can, of course, direct me to achieve some target, so that emotions are also successful. And once targets are set up, designed, and added to your life, these targets are also, if these were emotional based, that become logic based sometimes. Their skin become logic based, and that works. What happens in society, you see, just for example, everybody marries. You shall also marry if you are not done. We call it the institution of marriage, and marriage is done based on emotions and sentiments, not based on any logic. There is no logic in marriage consideration. When boy sees a girl or the girl sees a boy, there is no analytical talk. There is no talk that can communicate to each other with some logic. There is no logic. There is no, except some consideration of what is your status, what is my status, is it matching or not matching, what is your financial status. Means those type of different level talks which are family oriented, not boys and girl oriented. If you bring logic into that, mental work into that, certainly your emotions will not work there, and your marriage consideration will not go further. It shall happen. But that marriage is not for one day. That marriage is for whole life. Once you marry, you are happy that day I am married, she is married, we are together. But when you start your life, immediately differences start pouring in, because your minds don't match. Your emotions work only for few moments in 24 hours, but your mind works for getting money, for earning money, for leading life, for starting new family members, for starting something, something, and something which is not your emotional controls. So marriage starts degrading, disintegrating if you don't have sources and resources. If you are rich, you have the resource, you shall follow that. You shall replenish all facilities that are required by your wife or by your husband. You shall move, but that also shall not last longer, because everything cannot be taken forever. That was I'm saying is emotion and mind acts always clash. It is rare that these two match, but we have to lead over mind. We have to suppress our emotions if we want to move further, because emotions do not exist. In fact, emotions only a feeling. Emotions die early. If you are emotional, you will weep, or you will laugh, or you will surprise yourself. But when you weep 24 hours, you shall stop weeping after few moments. But when you are not emotional, you are a thinker, you take decision based of thinking, that is long race. Your mind will dictate you, your mind shall direct you, do this, and once you do that, another sequence arises, and you have to do there, and then another sequence arises, you have to there. So this act of chain building goes on until last point or endless points where you see destination is reached. Logic is very important in life. It's long-term solution, solid solution, no water in that, no liquidity in that, no fluidity in that. Emotions is a fluid of thoughts, and logic is a road of thought. It's a railway track of thought. It's a flight of thought. But emotion is a track, or is a carpet where you can just sit and dip. That's it. So it is what I'm saying is emotions are there, sentiments are there, but mental brain is also there. You have to select. If you select all together, you will not be able to do anything. Yes, you have to be emotional for instances, for few moments, for your family's sake, for your nation's sake, for your whatever sake. But logic, mind, brain works are always permanent. Same thing we have to see for our Bharat economy. We are not required to be emotional for everything. We are required to be emotional for limited items. But in general, we have to think for people by brain. We have to do for people for brain. And we have to force them to do something for nation. We are not force of hammer, not force of some other force of understanding, force of convincing. People should be convinced that this is right way and this is not right way. People have to move on right way. People have to move some plan or some master plan for nation, you can say. Master plan for Baruch, master plan for cities, master plan for factories and all those, master plan for family, master plan for your life. You have to build all those master plans yourself in form of designs, and then you can say, yes, this is the right path for me, this is the right destination for me, and that master plan which you deserve ideas for you and for all, that will direct you later that you are wrong or right here. That master plan which you build, which is your brainchild, that will become your brain father that one time. Because though it is your brainchild, but you devised it based on some thoughts, based on some mind application, based on some formula, based on some calculations, and that shall become one day your guide. It's your child, but it will become your guide. It will tell you, do this, don't do this. That is called a design. When we do some design of building or structure or something, in beginning we start a conception, we start a dream, and we start doing work on that. And after we start something, we do preliminary design or we do some other componental design. Then design itself tells us, no, you are here wrong, because you have taken that design in this way, in this consideration, on that constructability. This item should also be done in a similar way, otherwise you will collapse. That is what I'm referring to. Your work directs you. Your previous serial number directs next serial number. If I start from 0, then 1 comes and then 2 comes. And then moves on to 9, 10, 11, 12. When you are at some other higher number, previous number will dictate, no, you are wrong here. I was this one, it should be this one, and then it should be that one. It will guide you. And there could be fractions and further. No, no, you are now 10.5, you are now 11.5. So you will be bound by certain directions, which is your own device, which is on your creation. You cannot run away from that. So same thing, our economy is not so small. It's a big job. It's bigger than many other countries. It's bigger than other nations. We have to understand that. Other nations are not that big. Many of our nations, our friends, they are very small in our population. They are even 1 over 100 of our population, not even that, lesser than that. We are 130 crores, they may be only 10 crores, they may not be even 5 crores, they may not be even 2 crores, but they are leading on their way for their destination, and we are not leading for us for our destination. Our destination does not exist. Our thought process does not exist, and we are just living for sake of living, and we are dying just for sake of dying. We are eating just for sake of eating, and we are fighting just for fighting. We are not thinking. We are not developing. We are not building. We are living in builds. We are living in buildings, but we are not building. That is what I to me. We have to be professional, and this is what I'm calling professionalization of economy. When I use this word professionalization, it is very big meaning, because you have seen professional engineers, you have seen professional medicos, professional accountants. All are professionals because they work based on minds. Professionals cannot base on thoughts or on illogic or on irrational activities. Professional means application of process of mind, application of thought, application of logic, and that is what is professionalism is. If you understand that profession, you shall be successful. Otherwise, it's all waste of time. Profession is not easy. It is very, very difficult. Profession cannot be defined in one line. If you see dictionary and open meaning, you will still find profession is a level of study in any subject or in any field which is of advanced level. Even not study, even games, you say, which are of advanced level. So professional, they sometimes write professional carpenter, professional actor, professional player, professional boxer. professional engineer, professional doctor. All these terms, when professional is used, it means you are a person of advance in that field. You have achieved advancement. So once you achieve advancement means you are a self-study person. You are a self-lead. You don't depend any professional guide for yourself. You have to think. When you are doing master's degree, you are supposed to think yourself. You cannot just think what is given to you in some book. You have to analyze also those writings, those chapters. When you are doing masters or doctors or postdoctors or research work as fellow, you have to consider each and every aspect. You have to use your brain for whatever feedback is given to you in form of books, in form of resources, in whatever form. And that applies to our nation, our economy. Our economy requires to be professionalized. Our society requires to be professionalized. Our all standards and profession requires to be professionalized. Our all leads require to be professionalized. Our leadership is required to be professionalized. Leadership does not confine to political leadership, it confines to professional leadership. Leaders in engineering, leaders in medicals, leaders in sciences, leaders in humanities, leaders everywhere in field, everywhere in life must be professionalized. Why am I stressing this? Because we have to use our resources, we have to use our potential, we have to use our human resources, natural resources, other resources. In a way we learn, in a way we empower ourselves, in a way we got delivery to ourselves, in a way we build our nation, build our economy. We have various types of classifications in these resources. For example, we have education system, we have health system, we have political system or non-political system, we have railway system, we have road infrastructure system, we have factory system, we have industrialization system, we have industries, we have space system, we have defense system. We have all systems. We have. I don't say we don't have, and you cannot say also. But those systems are not updated one. Those have not been researched over. Constitution is there indeed. Constitution has got many amendments so far, more than hundreds. You know that there have been more than hundreds of amendments in 70 years, because in its original form it was a document but not master document, and still it's not a master document. It requires many more amendments. No problem for that. That is what is called professionalization. We have to amend ourselves to suit current requirement and expected future requirements. That is what we have to do. So now let us consider how we can solve these issues. These issues are so vast, so diverse that these cannot be solved in a day or in a week or in a year. These require decades. Maybe I die, you die, somebody else die. We may not be able to see that nation economy which I am dreaming today, which I am talking today, which I am referring today, I am contemplating, but I am not able to see, and I don't know I will be able to see or not. I cannot say, I cannot predict. I am not an astrologer. I am a professional, and astrology is not professional. And we have to go further to think, to contemplate, to sectionalize our own systems. We have to see what type of education we are having. For example, let us say currently we are having various categories of education. We have, they call it graduation, first graduation, though I call graduation at a school level itself. For me, passing secondary examination is a part of graduation, because graduation doesn't mean a degree. We call graduation a degree, which is a misunderstanding. Graduation is not a degree. Graduation is a mark of success, mark of some attainment. If you pass a school, this is also graduation, because you have passed a certificate, and that certificate indicates that this is your graduation. It's bachelor graduation is not, that is different issue. Actually, what may refer to graduation, we have mean that it is a graduation of first degree, means bachelor degree it is. That is what we mean, but we are unable to express that way. We just simply say he is a graduate. All right, no issue. When we say graduate here, I consider school as a graduate. Let us say what knowledge a boy coming from a boy, I should not say boy, a student coming after passing school, what parameters, what experience, what knowledge is expected of that. I don't think much, except that should know English, physics, chemistry, and like subjects, science, music, arts, economics, civics, like that, history, not more than that, right? And that is also in limited spectrum, in limited diversity, not in full. And of course, we cannot expect that young qualified person to help us build nation. Yes, that qualification is adequate enough to enter higher level, and that higher level starts in colleges or universities. So when you say somebody is BA, Bachelor of Art, or Bachelor of Science, or Bachelor of Humanities, or Bachelor of Engineering, or Bachelor of Architecture, or Bachelor of Medicines, or Bachelor of Law, Bachelor of Business Administration, or Bachelor of Planning, what does all this mean? Does it indicate that that person is a professional one, or that person is just educated one? What do you think? I think that is not a mark of practicality. That is not a mark that we can give responsibility to that person in a way or in an independent way to work as in field at in freelancer level or in deputy level. I don't think so. That education is just a lead to have more leads, to have eligibility to enter more leads. I think it's that one. Now, for example, we have Bachelor of Art. Now, what is art here? Have you ever thought about, just we are using this term coming from previous times of English people? This is Bachelor of Art. What is art there? I don't think this is an art. Just what subjects they cover. This English, probably mathematics, if not, I'm not sure. Political science, economic science, civics, or few other history you can say, in literature you can say. Are these subjects relevant to art? What is relevance of these subjects to art? These subjects which I spoke about, these names, these are educational subjects. These are not giving any artistic style. So how these are art? This is what is misnomer. Yes, there can be an art that you understand education. You can teach others. Yes, you can teach others. You can express yourself. If expression of that, teaching of that, understanding something, if that is art, I agree. You can say that is art, but that is not art. Because art is natural. Art is not based on your studies. Similarly, Bachelor of Science. Yes, there are science subjects that can be called Bachelor of Science, no problem. We have to re-evaluate what our education system is. Basic sciences, if you see these days, are missing in our education. Bachelor of Art that I call, Bachelor of Commerce I call, whatever Bachelor we call, these are not equipped very well to work in field. Of course, they pass examination, they study, they get certificates, they get everything, but we have to see what relevance such education have got with practical field. Is this education acquired by a student or a candidate working for future? It's not working for future. These people are a resource which cannot be used fully. This means this has not become a resource. This is just a support to become a resource. So who shall make it a resource? Getting LDC job, getting clerk job, getting computer job, getting sub-selection job, getting UPSC job is not a resource, because that's confined. That confines activities. A person employed in government through you, whatever department, through whatever agency, government service blocks minds, government blocks all your advancement, because you are bound by some agreement. You cannot ultra wire that agreement. You are not free to think to your way. You can think, but you are not free to apply that without higher approvals. So this means that is not a professional work, not a professional education. So how to make that better? That is our consideration. We have to make it better by adding subjects and removing those subjects which are relevant. We have to teach our young youth what you have to do. We have not to force them to become white collars or to sit only in office and use computer and just work for sake of sitting in office. This will not result in anything. Our our student power, our youth power requires to be adequately utilized, and otherwise it's not possible. Now I have taken up some writing for this talk, and I had written yesterday and given to you something, and I've added to that something more, which you can read on this video text, and I'll read here for your benefit. and then we'll talk further, because just going to talking and not referring to this shall not mean anything. Now, what I have collected here is, this is nothing, there's no reference to any book, but just for your information, I'm explaining that it's only my blank, my empty mind presence, empty mind result. When I'm sitting just in relaxed mood and just collected all this, which may be useful, which may not be useful. So just listen to that. Title is here, small title, reindustrialize nation and professionalize villages as clubs. This is a small title. You can say all what I go on reading now amount to titles. Let us say, create small scale industries in villages and smaller towns. Right? Create small scale industries in villages and smaller towns. I just blow up this because I'm not able to read by my spect. This little blow up so that I can read correctly. Yes. Yes. Then it is sometime. Hmm. Let investment be made there from public promotion viewpoints. Then all such industrial factory units must be backed by governments and industrial leaders and banking institutions. Exodus from villages to major cities must be slowed down so that extra overload on cities infrastructure is reduced or eliminated to some level. Owners of such small industries or small scale industries shall be privileged to work on farms also, means fields, crop fields, during their dedicated stay in villages or smaller cities, towns. Then, village where such potential exists on professional and industrialized basis may be named industrial villages so that statutory support could be granted to these areas. Then, major industries promotion at locations in such cities or around cities does not answer our economic requirements. For these add to citizenry load and additional pollution of cities. Storage facilities for all agricultural products in such areas must be organized in a way that farmers sell their products there itself and stored there in new infrastructure to be built, such as silos and bins, etc., and cold storages. Open resources are available in our country, Bharat, in abundance, such as natural agencies, namely rain, winds, sun power, and agricultural soil, best for fertility, as I already explained. These facilities must be supported by addition of artificial supports by including means such as canal network, river linkings or canal extensions from and to various rivers to enable farmers draw irrigation water throughout year, and no loss should be faced because of adverse natural impacts. Then village clubs, which means a number of many villages can be considered as a considerable unit to be extended with all subsidy facilities so that A complex in outer is made available to prevent citizens from these areas to run to cities. Polytechnics and vocational training schools, and it is must added to all such areas to enable youth develop at local level. Means education be diversified for technicians, productions and further development because technicians carry future of Bharat in as economy. Institutions that can impart medical nurses and medical emergency dealing medicos can also be added to at village club level for health promotions to avoid all running to cities during emergencies. When graduates from such local institutions start coming in technicians designations, they would have been equipped with a self-confidence to work for industries, either as employees or as small entrepreneurs to reduce parts for prime industries. All small trades require to be either vocationalized and professionalized to suit efficient working in a traditional qualified environment and deliver quality service and quality products. Foregoing statement carries an in-depth studies of existing problems based on professional experience yet must be applied after many brainstorming sessions. So this is just a, you can say, industrialized nation, professionalized nation, professionalized village, industrialized nation. These are very few recommendations just for consideration purpose, not for reliability purpose, because these require further discussions, and I will give some more in few seconds, in few minutes. Purpose is that I wanted to apprise you about what I think for this country, for this nation, and I think this country is having very good potential. We are not short of anything. We are not short of people. People are human resources. We have natural resources. We have human resources. We have minds. We have physique. We have agricultural resources. These resources, agricultural resources, for example, is very big resource. It is biggest resource, in fact, but this resource have been abused in past and still being abused. We are agricultural based country. Of course, now we are a service based country also, but service basis is not adequate for survival. Agriculture must be there because agriculture is our life. Without agriculture, we cannot adjust because we cannot eat anything if agriculture is not available. Eating is first requirement of life, cloth is second requirement of life, and all other requirements are come after those fulfilling requirements. If I have adequate food to eat, I have lost all my worries at least to some extent, one third of my life extent. Same thing applies to clothing. So we have agricultural base and we have basis of all agencies that are required to support agricultural base. This means food problem shall not exist. If we are awakened, we understand, we are ready to deal with, we receive these facilities of nature without any hesitation, without any delays, without any obstruction, then we can have no deficiency in food items at least for all people. But that is not happening, unfortunately, because of many reasons, political and social and other reasons. If we have these resources for us, and if we are able to promote these resources, preserve these resources, and we are able to use resources in a successful way, half problems of our country would go away. We have human resources, We have services resources which are based on human resources. We have infrastructure of railways, biggest infrastructure in world. We have infrastructure of canals. We have infrastructure of rivers. We have infrastructure of roads. We have infrastructure of people. We have to use all this infrastructure and we have to add to existing infrastructure. This is our job. Now let me come to next one, which is also again very important from this point of view, and we will deliver it later on in same video. Let me read first what is next one for discussion, which is also very important from point of view of understanding. This was background I have given to you about what we should do where we are, and now I am giving to where is this? Wait. Yes. Just I'm taking a few seconds to find serial number. Yes, I got it. So this is after my previous what we should do or professionalization of professions. It is job creations in future of ours. See, our problem has been that jobs are not available, and we have to understand this point. Yeah, are we really facing this situation? Are we really short of jobs? And if we are really short of jobs, why we did not chart out solutions? And in particular, these 5 years and before that also, there has been scarcity of jobs everywhere. We could blame that to world economy. We could blame that to on our economy. We can pass that buck to every other field. But issue still remains. Are we sure that we have job problems or we have some other problems so that we are not getting jobs? Youth requires job, everybody requires job because without jobs you cannot take food, you cannot survive. Even though your country is very rich, country shall not give you food without your work, without your job. This is also true. And we have to sort out this. Now let us just consider, not finalize. We just consider what we are. Let us say it is the responsibility of government and public sectors to create jobs for public and in particular to youth. What youth requires urgently being jobs that cannot be provided by magic alone, for there exists no magic in this nation as well as in other nations. Once jobs are created successfully, it shall impact immensely on all sectors of national economy and not farce considerations, Hawks considerations, or fake considerations. Jobs cannot be created just by an imagination, but by method devised to adopt planned concentration that focuses on real durable requirements. Various sectors are available to start newer jobs or to reopen past jobs that had been impacted upon by various bad policies of government. Let us start from real estate sector that produced more than 9 lakh incomplete flats within many cities, located within many cities, which economical constituent, which economical constituent lying dead must be put on ventilator under state control by legislature. This evil to transform to one part of dynamic economy. This is a vast sector of dynamic economy that can move economical forces to multiple commercial and banking transactions. People started loosening trust in government due to absolute collapse of economy in an every sector, which impacted upon fall on property, activity, which is certainly a boon to rising economy. Youth cannot stay in darkness for many years, but that has happened, and youth is too unhappy from this viewpoint. Not only educated youth, but trade skilled and unskilled workers all have been impacted upon by negative policies of government during past 5 years, say 2014 to 2019, current one. And when this part of a construction pro development field opens, many interlinked trade fields shall certainly open. State should State should take over all such pending projects and handle self at state level. State should take over all such pending projects and handle self at state level as an authority and deliver to people of Bharat, build flats at reasonable costs, which economical momentum shall certainly work for banking business and flow of funds in dying and passive market, making further strength to economical activities. Existing state companies must be stopped from being disinvested, for these in place of being sold should be renovated to meet current engineering and technical requirements to fetch public and state additional resources for further pending development. State must impact State must impact upon to insert achievement of meeting quality requirements of all products, whether those being produced by state companies or by corporate sectors. Reason being, nowhere in world equality quality non-compliance products are accepted, and rejections cost a lot of affects economy badly. Work culture requires to be changed completely to make it on same standards complying with international standards such as Eurocode, American codes and other all codes. Avoiding BS Bharat codes, for Bharat has got done no work on its own original codes since independence. Impetus should be given to least use of petroleum products for purpose of private transports by upgrading public transport. Fact being that a large sum from budget goes to meet imports expenses and also to repay interest on balance of payments every year, which impacts our earnings. Every day, twice, thousands and thousands buses and cars are used to transport students to respective schools, which must be checked into in details to find reliable alternative solutions to avoid unnecessary wastage on petro- petroleum products. Emphasis must be given to use of cycles by students that would support health of kids as well as protect further redundant forces to pollute environment. There is no harm even if students may walk 2 to 3 kilometers to and from school locations. Students must be forced to handle various common trade tools such as hammers, screwdrivers, drills, pliers, nails, etc., and respective uses must be explained to them so that they understand what industry art at a small scale means. This step shall certainly eliminate an accumulated degree of hesitation within minds and consequence considerations of students. Mandatory vocational training must be imparted during school duration so that these students are made used to working methods and to face physical activities using hands and other equipment. It has been observed frequently that students do waste many hours in working on mobile gadgets, which time is ruined, spoiled, and that loss must be made use of by using of utilizing these valuable hours of learning trade activities. Students must be encouraged to visit various factories and industries, plants, so that they get awareness about engineering fields and productions at junior age and are given a degree of enthusiasm to think on trade and industries activities. Ambition must be created at youth age, say between 15 to 20 years, to let them know about selection of what future holds for them. Agriculture is a master leading sphere of economy in lives Bharat lives, which must be given its due status because it had it has been ignored till now. Though once it had been included in status of green revolution, required storage arrangements so that these products are not perished. No problem was that we had adequate quantity of grains, adequate quantities of other materials available, but we could not be successfully store these items, and these items used to be not bought from farmers, but farmers used to throw them to be got to waste, to no other way, to not to be used, and that's called perishable items. These items, if not stored, shall become perishable. So that these products are not perished at farmers' premises and farmers, industrialist faces losses of hard hands. Agriculture must be considered as an industry and its products appropriately valued by adequately making for them required storing places. Grain silos must be produced in construction industry for purpose of storing dry grains, whereas cold storages be produced to contain other items for couple of months. Bharat does not have construction in status of industry, which must be enacted as industry by due legislation, keeping abreast at least 60% of all fundings and expenses go to construction industry. That includes real estate, roads and bridges, housing, road infrastructure at national level, state level, State infrastructure such as water supply and sewerage systems linked to environment controls, water resources such as canals, network, dams and river controls, reverse linking proposed projects that requires very long term plans and amount to many trillions of funds. All these areas where from workforce replaces machines must be preferred to be promoted so that jobs are created to meet youth requirements. You must accept to have practical and technical trade trainings to work. Youth must accept. I'm not saying you. Youth must accept to have practical and technical trade training to work on skilled activities, namely fabrication, building activities such as brick building, stone building, engineering construction activities, production production activities, safety methods, quality methods, field methods on jobs. Transportation safety and licensing of controls must be made as a mandate to keep roads safe, which could be drawn from using students on all such callings. Use of office activities must be minimized and replaced by technical activities, which transformation could lead to nationalized and internationalized use of our workforce. Use of office activities must be minimized and are replaced by technical activities, which transformation could lead to national and international use of workforce. There are a few more points. This is, I think, up to 38, and I'm now reading 28th one. Means 10 more points. Let me finish them. Generally, all such level located personnel are not very well educated, but well trained on job callings and can act as professional supports to projects. Redundant universities and colleges imparting useless degree curriculum could be closed in phased manner to be replaced by skill development professional centers wherein all teaching personnel must first be trained and updated for respective development. Bharat requires practical oriented, educated technical personnel and not those who have, of course, certified merely academic degree for Robert wall board postings. Bharat requires very few art graduates and fewer commerce graduates, whereas there remains no sense to deliver all professionals who would not be required to efficient complacement streams. Hmm. Foreign requires very few art graduates and fewer commerce graduates, whereas there remains no sense to deliver all professionals who should not be required to inefficient complex system employment stream strength. We can learn from lakhs of available advocates, chartered accountants, top degree engineers, etc., that they have been rendered redundant and prospective future in profession have become ruined. It is duty of state to chart out set plans for all for at least 50 years from now onwards to onwards in relation to what factually nation requires. Reason being that blind destiny education system shall not result in any reliable fruit after all education is not free of cost. After all, education is not free of cost but heavily cost located. Bharat future shall certainly witness an era in here when remunerations of engineers and trade workers may not have any considerable gaps like happens in West. If nation has to move on a progressive modern path, it shall have to reinvent its culture and not only in society rituals but in professions and trades in each and every aspects so that human power is efficiently and promptly utilized perfectly to add to quantity and quality in all fields. Extra efforts shall have to be resorted to upon all required fields and on these redundant fields, which would not provide brilliant augmentation in furniture. In future, various augmentation. Let me see again, better. Extra effort shall have to be exerted upon all required fields and on those redundant activities, redundant fields, which would not provide brilliant aug- augmentation in future. That I said, professionalism Professionalism shall have to be applied on to future governance by all ministers, all legislatures, and judiciary and all private sectors to enable Bharat face its criticism and appreciation every here and there is successful. Bharat has power and strength which must be utilized perfectly with a immunity with a minimum of loss to move ahead of or else unbecomingly keep sleeping for sweet dreams. This was what I contemplated in my view as an individual while just sitting and thinking about how to extend, how to prolong this talk for benefit of all of you, for benefit of myself, for benefit of my country, and then for benefit of our society at the end. It's not easy, but it's not difficult also. We as society require our own systems. We cannot say that what America did and what Canada did and what England did and what other nations did, we have to follow them. We can follow anything, but follow is easy. Just like they say, it is very difficult to do research, but it is very easy either to request copy document of research or to copy that, to steal that. It's very easy. Sorry. We are here not to steal something or not to say this is easy or difficult. We are here to think about how to solve our problems and to think about how to first understand what problems are, what type of problems are, what height of problem is, what strength of problem is, what meaning of problem is. It is whether it is a problem or whether it is bad habit of resting and sleeping. Life is not easy, nation is not easy, our society is not easy, everything is not easy. But we have to move forward. We are not poor, first of all. Don't call our country poor. No one has right to call our country poor because we are rich. We may not be rich in GDP of each individual. May not be rich in wealth of each individual. Some people may be below poverty line. Some people may be at poverty line. Some people may be above poverty line. But there are all classes of people. We have highest number of professionals in our country if you compare to other nations. We have lakhs of doctors, we have lakhs of engineers, we have lakhs of lawyers and advocates, and we have lakhs of government servants, we have lakhs of private servants, we have lakhs of freelancers. Everything is in abundance, but we are not thinking. We are not trying to preserve that. Whose fault is this? Whatever I wrote and narrated, that is very small quantity of major problem. I said we have to stop using vehicles. It doesn't mean that you don't use vehicles. Use vehicles. But use yourself also. Just think, if I have time, say 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and I'm going to market to buy something, can I not go by walking to bring small items back home by purchasing? Or do you need a helicopter or a Boeing or a car to move as such? This is our laziness because we are expressing our standard that we have car. My dear, you have your car, it's, it's good for you, but why you want to use it for those who have bent one car? I don't think so. We have to spend. We are not even to consider that we are poor. We know meaning of in consideration. Somebody asks me if you can go for donation. I say it doesn't meet my environment. He doesn't say that. We have to understand. Nation is mine. I cannot sleep until problem exists. I have to solve problem. I have to create jobs. If youth is given job, which I just stated, if we have adequate number of teachers, adequate number of professionals, adequate number of farmers, if suppose farmer's case, if farmer is given back his proceeds, you know what is proceed? One is product and one is proceed. Sale amount that you get after selling some agricultural products, that amount is called proceeds. If farmer gets proceeds rightly in right time, what way exists that farmer will commit suicide? Can you think so? Suicide is so easy that just say I am going to die and take something and die. No, nobody wants to die. People die to save their respect, their honor. People die because they cannot face others. When you are bankrupt, you have no money. One time you certainly think I should die. Because self-respect is very important in this mohalla, in this street where I am talking about, in this colony where people are staying as Gulf people. So what we should do? You will say he's just going on talking to just a lengthening, make this video very lengthy. No, my dear, no, it's not that. Question is not of video. Question is what we are, what we want to do. God has given us everything. God has given us land. God has given us water, sea, rivers, fruits, food, human power, all power. What else we want? God cannot shower notes or dollars to you. God has given you wealth of health. God has given you wealth of land, wealth of natural resources, wealth of metals, wealth of ores, wealth of metals. You have to explore all these sources in a limited way so that your industry works, your development works, your sons and daughters of this land also enjoy that fruit. At the same time, they go to school and colleges at government cost and study. That is most important. We are part of UNO, means we are part of world. World knows us very well, what nature we have, what culture we have. We have to be serious. We have to be welcome. We have to do for what means do means do. We cannot leave at beside. Oh no, it's not done because there is some problem. Even if there is problem, you have to check that problem and solve it. It happens that we are not doing that. Okay, it's not available. Come tomorrow, we'll see. And then we go tomorrow evening. Oh, you come, please, next evening. However, I'm not shocked. I'm not so surprised that you have to calculate each and everything. There should be a plan. I want to see a document. I can produce myself document, but I have feedback from states. This document should include inputs from states, what states are doing. We have so many states, 30 states in our country. These states are always having budgets, separate individual budgets. These states have master plans. These states have authority and municipalities and other departments which are all involved in development of the state. These states get feedback from center, and these states get incorporation taxes. Everything is there, every relation to the state and center is there, but that must be established properly. If our youth does not get job of whatever cost, of whatever salary, in that small mind of youth, what shall think? Job absence means it's very bad act of, of parliament, it's very bad act of our organization, our Lok Sabha, our, all those. That's if some young comes after immediate after studies and start teasing my wife, what help take her from? There's no help coming in. We have to see that how many universities we can close and how many university buildings can be utilized. We have to see how many people are engaged in each vocation, each profession. We have to chart out everything on paper. We cannot simply speaking, oh, we will give so many crores of jobs in each year, just like it has happened last. It is a actual debacle. It is devastation of promises that was made. 2 crore job each year was promises, but nobody calculated how many jobs are required. It's happened the same thing as what black money potential we have. Nobody has answered so far. But they are talking of. Okay, we are trying our best, they say. They are not trying their best, they are trying to hide their best. They are trying to hide promises. They say these are jumlas. I'm not going to politics. I'm not interested at all. But we need food. Youth is root of power, root of politics, root of everything. If youths start getting job, first of all, youth has to understand also that office jobs are not available all over world. You have to learn technique. You have to apply technique. There are many trades in building construction. There are many trades in other construction. There are many trades in marketing. There are many trades in schools. All must have been qualified. All must have been applicable. If there are say 10% youth are unemployed, let us say 10 crore youth are employed, unemployed. You have to provide jobs. So how you can provide jobs? From here, jobs shall not come in from outside. Nobody can. You have to create jobs. How to create jobs, I have explained. Start real estate in your hand. It was in government hand one time. Later, these were privatized and took money and ran away. Simple. I'm not saying what the politician says, but this happened. They took money from bank and skipped. This is not digestible. Youth have to be ready to change whole system. If youth cannot do that, I'm sorry then we are not doing our duty to our nation. We are not doing our duty to call Bharat Mata. We have no right to say that. Why should I have the right to do that? We have to improve system, improve it. Bring yourself to system, think about system, develop that, and once you develop your system with your adequate qualification of technician working, you can be a successful technician after passing BA degree, MA degree, or whatever degree you have. Because degrees won't work if there is no profession. It relates to profession. What is my underground? What is further underground? What is my soil? All these are required to understand whether you can adjust or you cannot adjust. Because in government, there are attorneys who can tell you about laws. And once you know provisions of laws, you can understand what you can do. That is very important. We have laws, many laws, innumerable laws, constitution, many acts, all the acts, every acts. Even in this precise I am giving is set of duration, set up everything, and we have to control that. These chapters I have given in these 5 videos are not chapters alone. It's my mind speaking something. Maybe I'm wrong. All my videos are rubbish. Consider that way. Think yourself. You have to think yourself to understand what I am speaking. If I am Prime Minister of this country, though I will not be ever, and just imagine I am Prime Minister of the, I'll move this way. I don't find very riches here. They are support. They are of course support of ours, but they are selfish. Our education system had been very good, but now it has not been very good. It has been pass related, pass oriented only, not learning oriented. Education must be learning, not pass. But we are just keeping it only, not even learning. Get certificate, get admission in university, pass a degree, and bye bye. Close your book, keep it in, go to roam here and there, enjoy your life, enjoy your everything, and then say bye bye. I'm modern, I have girlfriend, boyfriend. Stop all this. Be a good citizen for Bharat Mata so that you are eligible, you are qualified to chant Bharat Mata ki Jai. Bharat Mata ki Jai chanting is one thing, feeling is another thing, accepting is third, and applying is fourth. I want to apply, speak Bharat Mata ki Jai with my project, not blankly. I cannot know what my country is, what is meaning of my calling Bharat Mata ki Jai. If I know my country is strong, my country is strength, my country's power, my country's face is very good, is acceptable throughout world, I have right to say Bharat Mata ki Jai. Otherwise, Bharat Mata ki Jai is very long slogan which should be rarely used. We have other slogan, other senja, which is Janaganamana, which is more important than that. Because in that we are reflecting ourselves to our economy also, our leads also, everything also. So my dear friends, you start contemplating now. Maybe on similar patterns I suggested, or maybe on your own, you create your own. I like to see those. I like to see those. What is your estimation about the strength of our professionals in this country? How many you think should be available? I have given my data, my I can say my bottle about that. You have to check your bottle. There should be some marks on that. You check those marks. Country is very complicated issue. Why we have been failure so far? Because we don't know anything about us. People may know from outside and tell us this is your problem. They tell you what is your environment problem. They tell you what is your life problem, but you will not tell yourself. Why? We have to examine ourselves and know what we are. We have to understand ourselves. Then we have to understand how to stream our solutions to them. If we are able to stream our solutions to them, they will change automatically. If they trust that I am a good person, those young would come to me, my home, and see how we are doing on something. That is not seen. That is not happened. Building of a nation, building of economy is very difficult job, but it's not impossible job. Because you are using resources. You are not spending much money. You are spending public money. You are spending national growth. You are spending natural ores. You are spending materials extracted from earth. You are spending water. You are spending natural items. What you are doing, in fact, you are trying to research out what agency is better. In agriculture, if you had reached 6:30 in the morning, you are slightly late. If you have reached 5 o'clock, it's good because you have to go to temple, which costs time, which goes you there. You have to do so many others. You have to check so many other things. It's not simply that. First, read Constitution of Bharat, you will find many information from that. Then read Economy of Bharat, you will find more information from that. And see what can you do on this nation. Otherwise, whatever you are talking has no meaning. I am feeling a little drowsy, but I want to contain this because this is my job to finish this lecture, and I will keep because I don't want to extend based on economy talks in future. I will take some other topics like so science, so soil science and other issues which are also of more significance than this one. And I will expect that you write after watching this video about yourself, how you are managing country, how you want to manage country, how you want to run this, and that is more important, very important. I shall check all later on and to see what can be done. I have explained those points on my writings. You can see them what these points are. We have animals, we have pigeons, we have creatures. We cannot kill them. We have no authority to kill them. But we when say we are I am criminal, I am not criminal. I am a lead for this nation. I am not a lead for this nation. I have to do something. I am a scholar. I am not a scholar. I am engineer. I am not engineer. I am a resourceful those nations. I am not a resourceful nations. All acceptances, all yes or no's are for you, for your family, for your nation. Your nation is your destiny. For me, Bharat is my destiny. And I have all destinies, extended destinies also. But this is my destiny, which is original to me. Where I was born. I was born in Bharat. I have to pride of that. I am not calling myself some other nation or political asylum. Can we build us now? Can we defeat our leaders now? Can we teach them to check what they should do? Can we ask them do something for us? Or we simply remain fearing these leaders? Leaders we elect, that must work. We have to see such leaders. Just like in building or house is located, it should be house. It should not be desert. We are living in a country that is like desert, that is like snow field, like leaves field, like plastic crop field. It is our country. Everywhere you go, we started a program Swachh Bharat. Result is rubbish. No Swachh Bharat. We started so many programs for society. Nothing reached common man. What's purpose then? We are paying tax. We are doing everything, but result is not coming. All these topics must be dealt with accordingly. If you don't, you will fail. Just like we said in my chapters that we have to professionalize ourselves. So can we professionalize ourselves? We have to see yourself. Professionalize means very hard work, very difficult work, and we have to do that, difficult or not difficult. Our education systems, as I talked, are controlled by certain agencies, certain statutory bodies. Now I'll start giving an example of this which is very important from our country point of view. Because it's not because I am an engineer I'm talking about engineering. I am an engineer, that's a fact. But engineers make a nation, that is also a fact. If there is no engineer, there shall be no nation. Engineer means engineering. Engineer means produce. Engineer means extract natural materials in very raw form, ingredients form, and make them to concrete form or to wall form or to building form or to railway line form. For example, we take out steel ore from earth, we extract ore, we then do process on that from that extracted ore, and we further extract steel from that or iron from that, right or not? We extract so many ores from earth and we extract aluminum from that, for example, from bauxite. We extract gold and silver from that. We extract many metals from that. We take trees out and extract timber from that or wood from that. We extract medicines from trees, from plants. We extract medicines from inorganic rocks, right or wrong? We extract minerals from clay soils, right or wrong? We extract minerals from rocks. We extract water from rocks. We extract oil from rocks. We extract everything from rocks. We extract salt from seawater, right or wrong? This is all engineering. chemical engineering, mechanical engineering, civil engineering, whatever engineering is involved, this is engineering. You need something to produce for some other use. That is what is engineering. Engineering is very vast field but very reliable field, indispensable field. Engineer has to be very well knowledgeable, clear in fundamentals, clear in principles, clear in confidence, clear in self capacity, clear in strength, and that cannot be considered to be achieved at exit level of a college of engineering degree. When you exit from a college, this means you are just at threshold of that exit and you have to start engineering from there. And from distance of entering that college and coming to exit is just an education stream which gives you only theoretical knowledge, and that too incomplete, just to understand engineering field. You enter that qualification of engineering makes you eligible to know, to understand engineering, so that after having complete grasp of engineering, after spending many years of experience in engineering discipline, engineering field, you can become a professional in that field. And becoming a professional means you are reliable. People have trust in you that you can apply those materials which are very expensive into various arrangements, into various applications, just like explained to you: materials extraction, railway construction, steel construction, concrete construction, brick construction, and whatever construction is required: road construction, flyover construction, houses constructions, water treatment plants, sewage treatment plants, powerhouses, and whatever else is required is done from that effect. That is what engineering. Engineering is a vast field, and engineering is a common field. Engineering is a required field. It is not a redundant field. It is a must field. If not engineering means no society. Not engineering means no civility. All become deserted, forested. For that, when engineering is so imminent, engineering is so powerful that without engineering, society cannot exist. What should we do to make that engineering powerful, strong enough to move with us and to move us at the same time, to move with us and to move us at the same time, to take us on a lead to a set direction or on many directions, and to opt for selection of best direction to reach a destination. That is called destiny. I consider destiny when it has some permanence, it has some durability, it has some service on this my work which gives me back something in form of service to me or to whoever society is. Engineer means an agent of change in professional way. Engineer changes society. Engineer starts from scrap. Engineer starts from nothing. Engineer starts from nothing. Engineer designs from nothing to something. Engineer thinks the design is fine or not fine. If it's not fine, he revises design. He thinks how much money this design requires when cooking is done. And that is required and that is achieved. So engineering controls must be there. When there is so much diversity in engineering, there are at least on record 15 disciplines of engineering, or you can say 15 branches of engineering in our country and in all other countries. I just take few names only because I cannot remember all names and there is no meaning at all. You can find yourself. For example, let us say civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, agricultural engineering, architectural engineering, and electronics engineering, computer engineering, you can say space engineering, aeronautics engineering, or whatever else you can say. So many other fields are there. These have been divided into many branches because every branch is a specialized one. Once you passed bachelor degree in engineering, you have certain power of specialization to start in a specific field, and you learn in that field for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. You become very well experienced and a specialist of that engineering. Engineering specialty cannot be achieved from universities. They may grant you master's degree, doctor of philosophy degree, but that is restricted one. That is not very wide scale, and that doesn't apply very successful in engineering, because engineer itself is a study. If I am studying as a student engineer, I am not engineer. Once I pass bachelor of engineering examination, I am started calling engineer, and after that I work say for 10 years, 15 years, still I am called engineer. If I work for 50 years, 100 years, it is also called engineer. My designation remains same, but departments or companies or others, they start rising upstairs and reach landing, first landing, second landing, and up to last landing, which may be 10 landings and 10 routes. Engineering is a controlled field in many countries. For example, in USA, in England, in other countries, in Far East, in China, in Australia, in so many countries, there are controls, but not hammering controls. That is difference. Controls are there. Those controls are to some extent regulatory and to some extent not regulatory, voluntary. Medical is mandatory control in our country and in every country. Chartered accountancy is also controlled to some extent. But engineering is such a field that is controlled mostly on self-governance. Our legislatures, our lawmakers are not that qualified or not that potential, having potential that can think of these fields. Our lawmakers cannot think what is good in engineering or what is bad in engineering field. They don't have that potential to imagine or to analyze what engineers do. Engineer itself is such a qualified person. Engineering community also amount to that qualification that they don't need others to check them, and that should not be. Engineers are like judges. What judges do in courts? Same thing. Engineers are doing on projects, whatever projects they are in their society or at large. We are that type of people, caliber people, but there has been a revolution, there has been a follow up that there should be some control on engineers. Yes, it should be controlled for, from point of view of you can say legal management, from point of view of expression of responsibility in case of some or accident related accident, I mean say working related accidents. For example, there is some mishap on site, who shall be responsible? There's some mishap everywhere, who shall be responsible? From that viewpoint, safety laws are there, construction procedures are there, design codes are there, and all are known to our people. We have various branches of engineering which which issues new new voters in engineering, not voters I should say, I'm sorry, new people in engineering. For example, civil engineering is a master's kind of engineering. It's not simply diploma or degree or MTech or PhD. Civil engineering, you can say, like gross engineering. All other engineering can be accommodated in civil engineering if somebody goes to study civil engineering in its entirety, not simply few subjects to be studied. Study is not adequate in civil engineering. Study needs with it common sense, needs with it evolution, because engineering study is not just theoretical study. Engineering study is an imagination. An imagination what I want to build. I have an imagination. Oh, I want to build a city. Is it imagination or not? Is it done by architect or is it done by town planner or is it by an engineer or it's done by some artist? Forget that. Question is, in mind there is an imagination I want to create either on piece of paper or on land. It depends upon that. So imaginary power, is that not a power? This means imagine is a part of engineering, imagination. Then contemplation after that. I mean, what I imagine must work. I have to say my imaginary art, my imaginary diagram, perspective, is it right? Then starts other engineering. Then it starts field engineering. It was imaginary engineering, then there is field engineering. What you say field is FEED. And Sulfam, this is field front end engineering. It's called FEED, front end engineering designs. Once you have contemplation, once you have imaginations, you have to convert your contemplation, your imagination to real engineering, to practical shape, and that is guided by, that is designed under field, and field is further worked upon to convert field to designs, detailed designs, so that your designs you produce comply with field, comply with national laws, comply with European Union laws if applicable, or American laws applicable, or your own Bharat laws is applicable and available. That top contemplation of mind cannot be regulated by any law. What is required is, it is civil engineering, or it is mechanical engineering, or it is electrical engineering, or whatever engineering is involved, there is an element, hidden element in every field, and that is called safety element. Because safety in itself is a discipline these days, it's a branch these days, but it's not that powerful that government engineer is. That powerful that state engineer is, that freelancer is. These days, freelancer term is very applicable, or professional engineers we can call it, that you are working in a profession, you have to self-certify. You have to claim that your design is worth, your design is reliable. And reliable, when I say reliable, has got many meanings, and it's a combination of meanings, integrate meaning. Reliability indicates serviceability, means this project, this element, this work which we delivered should be serving successfully. Then it should be added as contributor or as an attribute to element of safety during construction, post construction. It should be stable, it should be performer, it should be safe, and that is what it is. So it is service, it is maintenance or sustenance, and then third point, where it comes to either destruction of that, or retrofitting of that, or reduction of that, is rename it. This means there was a fixed period which was meant for this structure, intended period, say 100 years, 15 years, 200 years, to which time there was intention behind that project to be produced so that it can serve for 200 years or 100 years. Generally, these days, 100 and 200 years are not considered, but for sake of discussion, for sake of understanding and analysis, I am referring like that. So that definition of real reliability means your work should be safe, your work should serve a service, and your work should give you certain liquid in your mind, and that is durability of liquid, power of flame. So service, a structure should serve, a structure should be safe, a structure should be durable. Means it should move in same state without any distressing, any extra distressing, without any bad impact on this structure. In safe mode, it should move for a limited period of 100 years or 200 years. That equation is called reliability. Means you are liable on this, This is reliable to you, and now it's reliable. Yes, you are relying on this safety, service, and all that. That is extra definition. That is professional definition, which is used in reliability term. So we have to consider same reliability for our national economy status. Are we reliable nation? Question arises. Are we reliable society? Are we reliable state? Are our culture, working culture reliable? Are our students reliable? Our colleges reliable? Are our professional teachers and non-professional teachers reliable? Are our engineers reliable? Are our doctors reliable? Are our hospitals reliable? All this you have to see from these point of views. And when we understand this, when we locate certain points on this, we can say we are professionals. Every product in our country, in our society, must be based on certain organization, certain system, and that is called professionalism. If I am teaching someone, I should prepare myself so that in a way I go to my students and teach them based in a professionalism style. Same thing must apply to my work and to your work. Same thing applies to a bus conductor as well as bus driver, that applies to you. Same thing applies to control of roads, to police, but nobody is doing that. Nobody is working in a professional manner. I have seen professional manners absent, remain absent, because there is no degree of self-control. Quality system say you have to certify your work yourself first as a part of quality on 9001 and 2015. But nobody is doing that. Oh, leave it, no problem. It's all in tolerance. They say like this. We cannot make machines if you don't if you don't follow, you can say, philosophy of professionalism. I was talking about civil engineering, buildings, and all that. But machines, when you come to machines, it is more important, more accuracy required here than civil engineering. In civil engineering, there are chances to digest something. But in mechanical engineering, if your part is not fit into that part, it will not work. It shall not work. It will trap itself. Minute millimeters are measured, minute thicknesses are measured, minute volumes are measured. Yes, it is laboratory time, it is office time, it is economy time. It requires the same type of power to keep it safe. Electrical engineering, same. First of all, you have to take safety in electrical engineering, which is very important. And then your circuits drawings are so easily understandable, but when you're on site, you cannot understand. Only that field guy can understand. So what I am telling about is control and engineers. We have one institution that was constituted, that was, you can say, started in 1920 in British time, based on production of a report of Industrial Commission of Government of India, which recommended that there should have been an institution at corporate level or society level that can start promoting industrialization of engineering, industrialization of nation, because nation was not industrialized at that time. Industrialization was an urgent requirement, and for that purpose, after complete study of all areas of nation, an institution was created as a company or society in 1919. This worked for a few years successfully. Then came period 1928. 1928, up to 1928, there was a period from 20 that this institution moved itself. It started getting students for educational promotion, though this was meant for society, for dissemination of knowledge, practical knowledge, but later started imparting first degree examinations of engineering successfully. When it was in the year 1935, you can say from 1990 to 1935, 15 fight, it's about more than 17, 17 persons, candidates appeared there. This was an only institution in British time. There were many institutions in Britain, as such we had here, Institution of Engineers. There was a law in England, still there, and that law was under the enacted under Charter Act. Charter Act is a law that provides powers to head of state to consider such bodies which are professional bodies whose members in a body must be 500 minimum, and all members must have at least one professional degree, engineering degree or other degree. That association or society must be self-reliant economically, competency wise, and there must be a track record of many years for that body. Self-financing body, self-qualified body, self-trained body, self-powerful body. Based on those legal criteria, this body of Institution of Engineers India, that time association society, applied to Court of Excellency of Vice VC. It was a Governor General, GG. After applications, having gone through scrutiny of that, King UK was convinced that this is an official body of Institution of Engineers India. What happened, I don't know, but they granted. They granted approvals to that charter, which was applied by Russell, who was chairman, who was head of this body. And in 1935, our Institution of Engineers India was granted a royal charter, that is Institution of Engineers India incorporated by a royal charter 1935, and that charter is a law of this land. That was a charter, first charter given to educational and professional institution. First time charters were given to many courts also, for example Madras Court, Bombay Court, Allahabad Court, and previously when there was no Supreme Court, even that High Court was chartered. So this royal charter means what? Royal charter is a kind of written rights and privileges to society, where the body that on behalf of that king, on behalf of a country, these rights can be used by you. So this charter states that objective of charter is application of engineering business, means apply engineering knowledge, technical knowledge, theoretical knowledge, practical knowledge, do work in engineering and do business in engineering business, not commercial business. And this is called engineering, application of science of engineering, application of science of engineering, application of works of engineering. That is called engineering charter. This charter had given a force impacted upon this body, and this body became very strong at that time. But this charter was a power. This charter also allows member of institution, whosoever he may be, either AMI, MI, or FI. This could be allowed to use title of Chartered Engineer India. Once you are a member, corporate member of this body, you are authorized to use legally title and designation or style, you can say Chartered Engineer India. And your membership designation is, this is Chartered Engineer India is not membership designation. This is designation from that charter, from this law. And there are membership there, fellow member and associate member. You have to be elected one of these, and once you are elected, you can apply for certificate of Chartered Engineer India. And once you are Chartered Engineer India, you are authorized engineer to sign legal documents involved in engineering and other documents. And even you can sponsor yourself, you can stand as the witness of someone in legal forms. This is Chartered Engineer and your membership body. But law does not force you to take membership and be chartered engineer. There is no mandate of that. There is nothing written in constitution about any mandate on engineers. Engineers are not written there. Engineer is considered a high profile educated person who can decide something about building, about all structures, and about mechanical and electrical field. So that person is considered very competent because he person must have studied for 2 decades or 1.5 decades to become an engineer. So I think this respect was considered at that time, and person was not further promoted because if you go down and you go up, this is not match. There's a privilege that you call you a chartered engineer. You are given many educational disseminations there, but no mandate. You cannot force someone to use this designation. This is up to you. If you use it, fine. If you don't use it, fine. There is no illegality in that. If you use, fine. If you don't use, fine. Illegality acts. But this is an only charter. After that, there are many bodies who are given statutes of parliament, like Institution of Chartered Accountants, like Institution of Company Secretary, like All India Institute of Medical Sciences, like Banaras Hindu University. Though this was previously, but it was under the Act. Architects Act, Pharmacists Act, Nursing Council Acts, like that. So engineering is different world in our country and it is same in UK and there. They have then introduced professional engineer designation for international professional engineers agreement. The Bharat, fortunately, Institution of Engineers India is a permanent member on IPEA, Institute International Professional Engineer Association. We are a original part of that. This is our value in engineering, which value has not been made because of certain statute, but by hard work of engineers, by hard work of engineering body, we have achieved that status. So we have two statuses for engineer in professional matters, not in educational matters. In educational, it is clear diploma engineer, you can say degree engineer, ME engineer, those are educated engineers. Those are not signing authorities. Even doctorate engineer cannot sign if he is not a member of Institute of Engineers. So our engineering education law is not that powerful. There have been certain demands that there should be a brief law which can give power to be called engineer. But there is only one law now, that is for RERA. We know this about promoters, about builders, RERA. This RERA defines engineer, and this RERA says any person who is a graduate in engineering can be known as engineer. That first time defines that. At least some definition available. But Royal Charter defines chartered engineer. It defines who should be chartered engineer. And there is also same thing. But in the other acts, for example, architect clearly states title of architect. Chartered accountant is clearly chartered accountant, authorized one by law. And that chartered engineer is also by law. Both are same. On top of this, I would say chartered engineer is something higher because chartered engineer means a constitutional engineer. Though it's not described in constitution, but charter means that you are a person appointed by constitution of this country, this law of this country. That's why you are chartered. And others, they are not chartered because they have their own system. In English system is different now. You can see other bodies, nurses bodies, pharmaceutical bodies, and other bodies. I don't know names there, but I have written that here on this secretary, etc. About medical council, advocates council, and many others are there, which I have given only those which are in relevance applicable to public. When such a state appears, we have educational system, but we have to improve it. I don't have any complaint for engineering education at all because our engineering education is going in the right direction. There have been further developments that our degrees are recognized by All India Council of Technical Education, but there is a deficiency in that council. I don't accept that council is sound on because professional engineers, experienced engineers are not member of that council. Similarly, on an international basis, Washington Accord has come to picture, and Washington Accords it recognizes our national board of accreditation that is was a part of All India Council and right now it's independent. And these bodies are masters on our engineering spectrum. It happens with many other academics about science and technology. We have to understand this from analytical point of view and from what we are. Legal people do not know what I'm telling. Judges do not know what I'm telling. They know only when they are told something. If you are interested, you can read what is Royal Charter of Institute of Engineers. You will understand what it means. It is given website of Institute of Engineers India. There's no the difficulty to trace it. So what I'm saying is we are completely different people, not so easily understandable. Our education is in the right direction, but requires certain modifications. Our youth are in the right direction in education, but they require some inventors to understand more and more, to understand practicality of life, not love and emotions all the time. No, it will not work. Once responsibility comes to you, you have to do that by whatever. Hmm. So I think this talk about economies, I have gone to an extent possible in details to it, and I have described professionals, including medicals, which medical council, and these four or five professionals are adequate for you to understand what legal system works, how our economy works, how our engineering works, how our nation works, how should government work, and how should public work, how should colleges work, and how should universities work. There should be no interclashes. There should be clear picture. There should be clear directions. If we move like that, as I contemplated in myself, with suggestive debate, you can say once a debate or talks, better talks, there may be some improvement. I can find darkness going off and sun is coming in. If you think same way, fine. Otherwise, you have also a duty to think and chart out what should be done. Write that, find that, and we become a society that leads ourselves. And once we lead ourselves, and when people see us from outside that we are leading themselves, they come to you and ask you, tell us about you. Until you move, people cannot see you are moving. You keep sleeping in home, nobody will come to you. You sleeping in profession, nobody will come to you. When you are working, you are producing, you are moving, you are hardworking, people come to you to see who are you, working so much, why are you working so much? They will come to you. It is life. It happens. So my dear gentlemen, I think it's time to conclude this because going further and further there is no end and everything cannot be unlimited. It has certain limitations, and I think I have given to you what I thought about. I can think more, I can do more, but then it will be superfluous, no meaning at all. There should be no concrete element available until I get more information from other sources. I have more discussions regarding this in other way, not in this political or apolitical way. I would say that you use it or you don't use it, you make use of it is your choice. I have done my duty as its smallest citizen in this country, the smallest qualified person in this country, and I hope you'll get benefit of what I shown. And again, I would say I thank you very much on whoever wanted, who intended to watch this, or who intended to think about this, or who is going to do more on this. I shall be thankful to all of you. I'll be grateful to all of you for giving me good listening and giving good time to talk to you. Thank you very much once again. Jai Bharat.